And welcome back for this, the second game of the Unsquashable Premier League here at Squash XL. Dave Worsley here with you, and joining me, Michael Sheltonaga, who just was out on the court there. A tough four-game loss there to Joel Ascot, Michael. But yeah, you got that second game, and you were looking pretty good there for a while.
Yeah. I mean, it was a little bit colder, especially towards the start of the match. Hence why we played forward a lot. It seemed quite dead in some patches. I mean, it was unfortunate to get a loss, but I'm really happy with getting a set, let alone not being able to touch a squash racket for the past 7 weeks. But yeah, it was really good. Joel's really strong.
And some of your shots, in the nicest possible way, I hope you don't mind me saying, are a little bit unorthodox and quite hard, I guess, for the opponent to read.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. I've worked on it pretty much my whole career. The idea of being unorthodox, I try to keep it efficient. So not so putting too much energy into it and creating more force and momentum off the other player's shot, using their power instead of my own. But it doesn't always work.
Yeah, it was no disrespect in any sense there, but I think that's what happened. Joel, at certain times, he was trying to figure out what you might do next, which is a good thing in a way.
Absolutely. Mixing it up is a very strong tactic, in my opinion.
Yeah, particularly with a lot of younger players, maybe players like this, who are still both teenagers, they've got to a level where they're used to regular, very
structured.
Yeah.
Very structured, clean squash. Especially Elijah and Glenn are super fit. Really good endurance players. They get a really long rallies in.
Yeah, I mean, both of them there. They met in the final of the under-19 champs last year, and it was a lengthy final.
Yeah.
They know each other's game very well, and I guess you've got Glenn at Templeton is a big, solid guy. He's very tall and solid. He looks a lot older than what he is, and Elijah's certainly growing a lot as well. So for both of them, they're becoming stronger physically as well, aren't they?
Yeah. As they mature, the game really changes as they get older. But last year, under-19's final, really close. I think Glenn got there in the end.
Yes, he did. Yes.
Although, they will play each other at least 5 times each season. It's interesting who will get the most matches on top, though.
For you, was there a player that you played so often and almost got sick of playing?
Definitely a few. Matthew Lucente from Belmont Park Squash Club. Probably up there, in my opinion. We've had many matches go over an hour 15. Most definitely the toughest player I used to play all the time.
Because it doesn't necessarily mean the best player, but there's sometimes a player who just is almost annoying.
Yeah. They just somehow guys are coming up against each other. It's like fate.
And just for you, as a junior player, you played in the Trans-Tasman competition. Did you ever play? You did play against Australia a couple of times for New Zealand?
Once for New Zealand secondary schools. We were unbeaten at that stage for the past 4 years, I recall. Travelling over to Canada and the US to play the Canadian Junior Open and US Junior Open was an unbelievable experience. That's where our squash really improved.
So just tell us, you're 21 now, but as a junior, like you said, playing in those tournaments in the US and Canada, you said you improved, but how? Was it just the immense numbers of players? Was it just the situation of the tournament being so big?
Yeah, well, especially being in New Zealand, there's not as many players, and being able to get some international exposure and playing against the world's best juniors is really motivating. Seeing what all the other countries and all the other players are doing and what you need to be able to be doing, and being on that level with them was a real wake-up call the first year, and that's what really motivated me and led towards my improvement in junior years for sure. Oh, lovely hold and cross from Elijah.
Well, there we go, the first game of this, the second match. Of course, Joel Ascott winning the first one against our man Michael Sheltenager, who is with me now. And we'll just come back in the second game very shortly. But Glenn Templeton, he was certainly playing pretty well in that one. These players both know each other's game very well. We'll be back very shortly. So not quite the first game there, but 9-all. So 9-all in this, the first game, so we hadn't quite got through it there. A little bit presumptuous between Elijah Thomas and Glenn Templeton and Michael Sheltenager. Both of these players, as we've said already, they are so very close. And it's what we're seeing in the first game as well. No one really giving an inch on this.
Yeah, very tight towards the end of this first set.
How do the conditions, when they're a little bit cooler like this, affect the strings in your racket? Do you break a few more strings?
I think it's more likely to, for sure. I mean, everyone's got backup brackets ready to go, all strung to the perfect tension and whatnot.
Is there a tension that you like in particular? Is it different to other players, or you're in the sort of regular?
Yeah, I'm within the regular range, 26 to 27. I'm not too sure about other players.
Right, we're back now with game two between these two juniors. Well, they were the junior final this last year in the under-19s. That's Glenn Templeton, and he is in the darker shirt, and Elijah Thomas in the lime green shirt. It was Templeton taking the first 11-9. And Michael Sheltenager just, in this first game, anybody really... I mean, obviously Templeton took the first game, but anybody really shining through so far, or is it very even?
I think it's really even. That game was really 50-50 for me. I think it could have gone either way. Unfortunate to end on a call. But at the end of the day, you just have to push through. Good rally here. Both players really putting in work.
Oh, Considering they haven't played for about 7 weeks, that was a top rally.
Yeah.
I think what was so good about that rally is they were using both corners and then trying to get forward and then both corners again as well.
Yeah, all areas of the court being used now.
And perhaps for some players like this, in fact all 8 players, it won't take long to get into a rhythm again. Maybe not so much tonight, but for anybody playing tomorrow, the rhythm will come back, the playing against each other and being competitive, and almost the physical side will come back, won't it?
Yeah, for me personally, that's what I'm here for, is to gain that momentum back. I'm really hoping to feel a bit more confident by the end of this weekend and ready for next weekend.
Because Interclub in the Auckland region is expected to restart or start next month, is that correct, in June?
Yeah, the winter season Interclub will be starting up again. So the winter Interclub is usually really competitive. In the circumstances we're in right now, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But yeah, it'll be good another good thing to look forward to in the squash scene. A lovely trickle burst.
And you'll be playing for the Remuera Club again?
Yeah, returning to our rackets. Fortunately, I'm really happy.
A comment on when you served from the forehand side there. Elijah did the backhand shot, whereas you did the forehand kind of slap serve, for want of a better word.
Yeah. I mean, it's really whatever's comfortable. I find it's good to vary it up a little bit, change either side. But on the backhand, it's the pro of serving on in a backhand swing on the right side is to get a faster look at your opponent and how they're setting up their racket. But that's really the only plus side compared to a forehand swing serve.
So a 3-point lead here for Elijah Thomas after he dropped the first, albeit a very close first. And well played there.
Great shot, put it away. Elijah seems to have gained a new haircut over the lockdown. The iconic moment seems to be helping him in the second set.
And there you go, it's game ball. Let's see if he can finish strongly on this. Let's see what his point is. Well done.
You can't do much about that.
No. There was twice in that rally that Elijah had his back to the front wall. If you're quick enough, it's okay. But isn't it asking for trouble?
Yeah, it really isn't ideal. You don't want to find yourself facing the back wall and desperate to cover the ball, but you got to get to it. Bit of a collision.
Yeah, you had stepped in the wrong position there. There we go, wraps that one up. Back now with the third game between Glenn Templeton and Elijah Thomas. These two players still both teenagers. Templeton probably about 6'3" or 6'4", so plenty of size and power, whereas Elijah Thomas is certainly grown a lot taller over the last little while as well. When they played in the final of the New Zealand Under-19 champs, it was Glenn Templeton coming through in 5 dramatic games. And these players have certainly played a huge number of times already in their junior careers, and both have senior rankings already as well. In fact, the senior rankings, the PSA ranking for Elijah Thomas is currently 257. And for Glenn Templeton, it is 357. And a few errors creeping into both players. Certainly we've had some very entertaining rallies so far. And we do hope you're enjoying the coverage. This is the first elite sport to be held, to be shown in New Zealand since 7 weeks or thereabouts of lockdown. And over the next couple of days we'll have the following round tomorrow between 3 and 6 p.m. New Zealand time, and the finals on Sunday New Zealand time, also 3 to 6 p.m. Also the next 3 weeks there will be tournaments as well, all held here on the glass court at Squash XL in Auckland. And thank you to the 2 players so far, Tem Chilisi and also to Michael Shelton-Agar, for helping out with some comments and just some chat about the tournament and where they are with their games. You can see throughout this game in particular the speed of Elijah Thomas. Very quick around the court and very quick on the turn at the back of the court as well to get himself back into position. Thank you to Heather Finlay for being the official for this tournament today. And you can see the power on the backhand there of Glenn Templeton. But then plenty of good touch from Elijah Thomas. So he's got game ball, Elijah Thomas, the 17-year-old from Auckland, and takes it. So Elijah Thomas taking the third game, 11-3, after winning the second as well. Glenn Templeton took the first. So we'll take the short break and they'll be back for the fourth game of this, the second match of the Unsquashable Premier League here in Auckland. 8 of the best domestic players on court for the first time for a number of weeks. It was Templeton who took their first game 11-9, but then Elijah Thomas came back 11-8 and then 11-3. And just reminding people that the next contest will be Temwa Chalisi up against the 17-year-old, only 17 a couple of days ago, Leo Fabialofa. And you can see Glenn Templeton using the back of the court here very well. pushing Thomas right back into the corner. And gaining a good lead as well in this the fourth game. And these players do tend to play 5 games quite a lot when they meet each other. As we've said before, it was the final of the Under-19 Championships. We had a full 5 there with Glen Templeton winning that title last year. And the 5-1 lead now to Glen Templeton. Let's see what he can do with this serve. And forcing Thomas right into the corner. Templeton tends to use a big swing on his backhand a lot. Forehand's a bit more wristy. And just the question there from Glen Templeton. Caught the ball, probably could have played it, asked the question. It was turned down. Well, nice footwork by Elijah Thomas, perhaps not so nice by Glen Templeton. Getting cramped up quite considerably there, and Elijah Thomas being able to use his speed to take that point. And no footwork there from Glen Templeton this time. So he lets the lead that he had slip. It was 6-2, but it's now down to 6-4 in this, the fourth game. A couple of basic errors coming into the game of Templeton now. Had the opportunity in that one. And it appears to be just a little lack of footwork. Remember, these players haven't played a competitive match for at least 7 weeks. They have got on the court a couple of times on the last couple of days, but that is it. But that's a much better shot down the line. Big swing and plenty of space to win that point. So showing plenty of power there, Glenn Templeton. Got himself to a good position where he could pick where he wanted to put it, and even the speed of Elijah Thomas couldn't counter that. But this time the touch of Thomas winning him that one. So Elijah Thomas coming back a little bit. 6-9 down. And again, good touch, good positioning from Elijah Thomas. Glenn Templeton at times, his play looks quite relaxed, almost too relaxed. And it's been a nice comeback by Elijah Thomas. Just taking his time. He was down by 4 or 5 points in this game. Hasn't rushed himself, and in many ways has forced the error, albeit not in that case. That was Templeton with plenty of power. So now 9-10, saves 1 game point. Let's see what Elijah Thomas can do here. Can he force it? Back now for this, the 5th game. It is a first round match between Glenn Templeton from Katikari in the Bay of Plenty and Elijah Thomas from Eden Epsom Club in Auckland. It was Glenn Templeton taking out the 1st and the 4th games, and Elijah Thomas the 2nd and 3rd. And that's Heather Finlay, the official. She has a bit of a phone call going on right now. Oh, we're back. And an unusual feeling around the stadium here at Squash XL because no spectators and just a few players, with gatherings around New Zealand to be kept to around 10 people. So certainly an unusual feeling for these players as well. Yes, they're used to training, but this is an actual match. And the first of 4 tournaments of this, the Unsquashable Premier League. The players really using this as a warm-up. I'm sure the next 3 tournaments will be very serious. They want to have match play. They want to have an opportunity to win prize money as well. And it's always very good for the players to be on the glass court here at Squash XL too. Well, the pace of that really was fairly intense, but Elijah Thomas been able to cover the court extremely well, and extremely quickly as well. That is part of his game. racing away with this, the 5th game so far, Elijah Thomas. One of the best aspects of his game is that he can recover so quickly from being pushed in a corner. And certainly Elijah Thomas smiling. Glenn Templeton, not so much at the moment. Both of these players enjoying their game. Possibly not Glenn Templeton as much. Oh. All right. Well done there to Elijah Thomas, winning in 5 games.